Alex had repaired a lot of things in his life, from old star freighters to small drones. But nothing prepared him for the message that flashed across his console one quiet morning in the outer sector. A faint signal, almost like a whisper, pulsed from a planet uncharted in any of his star maps. He hesitated, scanning the signal for traps or distortions, but it had a pattern and intelligence behind it. Curiosity outweighed caution. He suited up, checking every tool and spare part in his small engineering pack. His ship, a modest cargo vessel, had served him well in dozens of salvage missions. He set the coordinates for the mysterious planet and engaged the thrusters. The planet came into view as he broke through the atmosphere. Floating islands hovered over a vibrant blue sea, with structures that twisted toward the sky like living sculptures. Alex's jaw dropped. He had seen alien settlements before, but nothing on this scale. Towers shimmered with colors that shifted with the light, and bridges of energy connected the floating islands like threads of pure light. At the center was a palace, immense and gleaming, perched on a plateau that floated independently above the largest island as he approached. His ship's sensors detected movement. Figures clad in elegant armor moved across the palace grounds, their motions precise and controlled. And then he saw her, the princess. She moved with grace that even seasoned soldiers could not match, her presence commanding the air itself. Her armor glinted under the planet's twin suns, sleek and complex, a perfect fusion of art and function. But the sensors picked up a problem. Her suit's energy readings were inconsistent, and subtle damage patterns appeared in the shielding circuits. Alex's heart beat faster. He had seen damaged suits before, but this one was unlike anything he had encountered. Whoever had made it was a master, but it had flaws that no one had corrected. He could fix it, but the idea of touching the armor of an alien princess was both thrilling and terrifying. Before he could make a plan, a figure approached his ship. Leora, the princess herself, stood before him. Her eyes were sharp, observing. Her voice carried the authority of her people. "You are the human who responded to our signal." She asked, double quotes, "Yes, Your Highness." "My name's Alex. I'm an engineer," he replied, bowing slightly, though he knew she may not expect it. She tilted her head, studying him. "I need this," she said, pointing to a floating platform that displayed the armor and parts, some of them smoking faintly from energy overloads. "Can you repair it?" Alex swallowed. "I can try, Your Highness. I have repaired complex systems before, but this is unlike anything I've worked on." Leora's lips curved slightly, almost a smile. "That is exactly why I called you. Humans think differently. Your mind might see solutions our engineers cannot." Alex was both honored and nervous. He followed her into the palace, careful not to touch anything unnecessarily. The halls were unlike any architecture he had seen. Smooth surfaces that seemed to glow from within, stairways that twisted in impossible angles, and energy fields that stabilized floating platforms as if by magic. She led him to a chamber, where her armor lay in disassembled sections. The central suit glimmered with embedded crystals, conduits of energy running like veins across its surface. Sparks from the damage occasionally leaped from the circuits. Alex could feel the hum of power even from several feet away. He knelt carefully, examining the components. "The energy matrix here is misaligned," he said softly, pointing at a tiny fracture in one of the conduits. "And this interface is inefficient. It's causing overloads in the shield." Leora crouched beside him, observing. "Your attention to detail is unusual for a human." Alex chuckled nervously. "We engineers survive by noticing what others miss." For hours he worked, carefully rewiring circuits, recalibrating energy flows, and reinforcing weak points. He explained his steps as he went, not to teach her, but because talking helped him focus. Leora listened quietly, sometimes nodding, sometimes asking questions about the human world and his methods. "Humans are brave in strange ways," she said at one point. "You risk entering unknown places, fixing things that could harm you, yet you proceed without fear." Alex paused. "We adapt, survive." Sometimes it's the only way. And maybe we are curious too. I don't know if bravery is the right word. She considered that, her eyes thoughtful. Curiosity, yes. Perhaps that is why you were chosen. As the sun of the twin star system dipped below the horizon, casting the chamber in an amber glow, Alex finally completed the last connection. The armor's circuits glowed steadily. The energy hummed stable and strong. He stepped back, wiping sweat from his brow. Leora extended her hand toward the suit. "Test it," she said simply. Alex helped her step into the armor, carefully ensuring every joint and interface aligned with her movements. Once secured, she activated the suit. Energy rippled across the surfaces, shields forming with a soft hum. The suit moved seamlessly with her, responding faster than he had expected.
"Adding to her commands perfectly. You've improved it,"
Leora said, her voice a mix of surprise and admiration. "Faster, stronger, more responsive." Alex smiled. "I just made some minor adjustments. The design was already brilliant. I just filled in the gaps." She studied him, her eyes lingering longer than necessary. "I find your work remarkable, Alex. Not just your skill, but your perspective. Most engineers would follow their instructions blindly. You see possibilities where others see only limits." He blinked, unsure how to respond. "Thank you, Your Highness. That means a lot coming from you." For a moment, silence hung in the chamber, broken only by the hum of the restored armor. Then, with a small, deliberate smile, Leora said, almost teasingly, "Perhaps you are more than an engineer. Perhaps you are my consort."
Alex froze.
His mind scrambled. He had heard of humans being given honorary titles in alien societies, but the word consort carried implications he didn't fully understand. Yet he could see the weight behind it in her eyes. Not a joke, but a genuine recognition of partnership and respect. "I am honored," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "Though I did not expect that. Expectations rarely shape destiny," she replied. Her voice was calm, but there was a challenge in it. "For now, you have my trust, Alex. That is enough. The rest will follow in time." Over the following hours, they spoke more, sharing stories of battles fought, places explored, and lessons learned. Alex learned about Leora's world, the politics, the technology, the pressures of ruling a civilization that valued both intelligence and strength. She learned about humanity, about resilience and ingenuity, and how a single human could survive where armies might fail by the time night fully settled over the floating city. Alex realized that he had not just repaired a suit of armor. He had built a connection, a fragile bridge between two very different worlds. And in that moment, he understood that being called consort was more than a title. It was an invitation into a life that would challenge everything he had known. As he prepared to leave for the night, Leora handed him a small device. "Keep this close. It is a direct link to me. If the city is ever in danger, or if you are needed, use it." Alex accepted it, feeling the weight of responsibility. "I won't let you down," he said. "I know you won't," she replied, her tone softening, almost human in its warmth. As he returned to his ship, Alex looked back at the palace, glowing under the twin moons. He had come seeking work, a challenge for his skills. Instead, he had stepped into a story far greater than he could have imagined. A story that began with circuits and armor, but might very well end with him as the first human consort of an alien princess. He couldn't help but smile. Feeling the pull of destiny and curiosity, combined a mixture of fear and excitement he had never known before. The adventure was only beginning. Alex had returned to his small quarters aboard his ship, but sleep eluded him. The palace, the floating city, and Leora's unexpected declaration echoed in his mind. He kept turning over the word consort again and again. In human terms, it carried prestige, responsibility, and perhaps danger. But in Leora's culture, it meant something far greater, a bond of trust, partnership, and influence in ways that could shape entire civilizations. The next morning, Alex received a signal from the device Leora had given him. It was a simple message: "Meet me at the training grounds." When he arrived, found Leora in her fully repaired armor, practicing combat movements with fluid precision. She moved faster than any human could, dodging energy strikes, launching herself across platforms, and striking imaginary opponents with a force that could shatter steel. Her focus was absolute. Yet there was a flicker of curiosity in her eyes as she noticed Alex approaching. "You are here," she said, voice calm but warm. "Good. I want you to see how your work performs in the field." Alex watched as she tested the suit, noting the way the armor adapted to her motions perfectly. "It's incredible," he admitted. "The way the shields flow with your movement sits seamless." "Seamless because of your adjustments," she said, her tone carrying a hint of amusement. "I see humans often undervalued themselves. Yet here you are, making a difference where many others could not." Before Alex could respond, alarms blared across the city. A stealth fleet had arrived at the outskirts of the floating islands Anomi's Leora had warned him about. Their ships moved with speed, cloaking intermittently. And Alex quickly realized this was a serious attack, not a simple show of power. "Stay here," Leora said, though she did not step back. "I will defend the city. Observe and learn if you must." Alex hesitated. He was not trained for combat at this level, yet his mind raced, analyzing weaknesses, predicting enemy tactics. He grabbed a portable control console, using it to reroute energy flows, reinforce shields across critical platforms, and remotely control auxiliary defense systems. The first wave of enemy ships struck the city's outer perimeter. Energy beams collided with defensive shields, sending sparks and shock waves across the floating platforms. Alex worked quickly, rerouting power to damaged shields, just as one section threatened to collapse. He adjusted angles, predicted trajectories, and watched the system respond to his commands. Meanwhile, Leora moved like a storm of light, her repaired armor glowing brilliantly. She dodged attacks that would have shredded ordinary soldiers, countered with energy strikes that disabled enemy drones, and moved with a strategy that seemed almost instinctual. But even she noticed Alex's calm and precise coordination. His human ingenuity allowed her to anticipate threats she had not yet detected. During a pause in the battle, Leora landed near him. "You are not just my consort in title, Alex," she said. "You are proving it through action. Most of my allies would crumble under this pressure, but you are remarkable." Alex shook his head, trying to keep his focus. "I'm just doing what I can. Your armor. It's extraordinary. I just help it be what it can be." The battle intensified. Enemy ships had adapted, splitting into smaller squads to bypass defenses. Alex worked tirelessly, rerouting energy to counter their unpredictable movements. He noticed that some ships relied on exploiting the minor weaknesses in the city's gravitational stabilizers. Acting quickly, he recalibrated the stabilizers, creating turbulence that threw the attackers off balance without harming the city's structures. Leora noticed the effect immediately. "You see the pattern?" she exclaimed. Human perspective so simple, yet brilliant. Together, they turned the tide. Leora engaged the attackers directly, moving with fluid strikes and expert dodges, while Alex managed the defensive systems, predicting enemy movements and closing gaps before they could exploit them. It was a partnership neither of them had fully expected, yet it worked perfectly. After what felt like hours, but was only moments in the speed of battle, the attackers were forced to retreat. Their ships vanished into the clouds, leaving behind debris and scorched platforms. The city had survived almost unscathed. Thanks to a combination of alien strength and human ingenuity, Leora landed beside Alex, her armor humming softly. She removed her helmet, revealing her face flushed from exertion, but radiant. "I owe you more than words can express," she said. "Without you, the city would have fallen. You have shown bravery, intelligence, and skill that surpasses any expectation I could have held for a human." Alex smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. I just did what I thought was best." You didn't expect to save a civilization," Leora interrupted, her gaze steady. "But you did. And now, more than ever, I know my choice was right. You are not only my consort in name, but in action, in spirit, and in courage." Her words carried weight. In her culture, recognizing someone as a consort was not a casual decision. It was a declaration of trust and respect, a bond that intertwined destiny and duty. Alex realized that his life had changed completely. He was no longer just a wandering engineer, he was a partner to one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Over the next few days, Alex learned the nuances of his new role. He accompanied Leora to council meetings, observing the delicate balance of power within the city. Some advisors and nobles were skeptical of a human influencing decisions. Yet when they witnessed Alex's insight, his practical and unconventional approach earned them cautious respect. His perspective revealed weaknesses and opportunities they had not considered, and even skeptics could not ignore his contributions. Leora guided him through court rituals, explaining the customs and expectations. Alex listened intently, learning quickly, often offering suggestions that combined human practicality with alien tradition. Slowly, he became accepted not as an outsider, but as someone essential to the city's stability. One evening, as they walked across a bridge of shimmering energy connecting to floating islands, Leora spoke softly. "You have changed how I see humans, Alex. Your courage, your mind, your ingenuity. It is rare even among my people to see such combination of skill and heart."
Alex glanced at her.
"I never expected any of this. To be here, to be called your consort, it's more than I ever imagined." She smiled, a mixture of warmth and pride. "And yet it was always possible. You just needed to be brave enough to step forward." Their partnership grew stronger not only through shared battles, but through understanding and mutual respect. Alex's human ingenuity complemented Leora's alien strength and wisdom, creating a bond that neither time nor adversity could easily break. Months passed. Together they addressed new threats to the city, repaired and upgraded technologies, and navigated political tensions that arose from neighboring systems. Alex adapted to the culture, learning quickly and earning admiration for his contributions. Leora, in turn, grew fond of the human in ways that went beyond respect. She appreciated his humor, his perspective, and the courage he displayed in every action. One day, while testing an experimental energy module, Leora turned to Alex and said, "You have exceeded my expectations, Alex. More than that, you have exceeded even your own. You are indispensable." Alex felt a surge of pride, tempered by humility. "I only do what I can, Your Highness. I learn from you as much as you may learn from me." She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You have earned more than a place beside me, Alex. You have earned my trust, my respect, and a bond that cannot be undone." It was then that Alex understood fully what it meant to be her consort. Not just a title, not just a role, but a living connection between two worlds. Humanity's courage and ingenuity had found a place among alien royalty, and the bond forged in trust and action would guide the city and perhaps the galaxy toward a future neither could have imagined alone. As they stood together, watching the twin suns set over the floating islands, Alex realized that this adventure was far from over. The universe was vast, filled with challenges and mysteries, but now he faced it not as a lone engineer, but as a partner to one of the most remarkable beings he had ever known. Together, they would meet whatever came, united in purpose, trust, and the unshakable bond of courage and respect. And as the stars began to shine over the floating city, Alex knew one thing with absolute certainty. The word consort no longer felt strange. It felt like home.